Your reality has nothing to do with anything outward. That is, you cannot define yourself from the basis of your background, your origin, your color, neither from your set rules and regulations. I believe we know that Christ is everywhere. Most especially, He lives in us. He became sin, He who knew no sin, that we might become the righteousness of God. He took our place and gave us His. Now, in other words, God, Christ, is living in us, as us, for us, and with us. The life we're living is not ours. You know about that, right? It's Christ's life. So, from that truth, how do you want to define yourself from your experiences? How do you want to define yourself from your outward experiences when the life you live is not even yours? Ephesians chapter 1 verse 17 and 18. That the God of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of glory, gives to us the spirit of wisdom and revelation into the knowledge of Him. Verse 18 says that the eyes of our understanding becomes enlightened. Amplified version says that the eyes of our heart becomes flooded with light. So how do we become enlightened? How do we see things the way they are, not the way they appear? By knowing who Christ is, by growing in the knowledge of Him, by growing in the mysteries of Christ. So when you're fully grown, of which we can never outgrow, growing in the knowledge of Christ, we always learn, we always grow. There's always something to know about. There's always something to learn about. So as we continuously grow in the knowledge of Christ, so will the eyes of our understanding become enlightened. So will the eyes of our hearts become flooded with light. And we will begin to see things the way they are. Equally ourselves. We begin to see ourselves from who we truly are. From who Christ is. You cannot define yourself based on who you are or what you've done or what you've not done, your experiences. No, you cannot. As a son of God, as a child of God, as every individual out there, it's Christ that energizes our bodies. Because He is the one who energizes our bodies. He is the one that can really truly give us true understanding of who we are, right? Growing in the knowledge of Christ is growing in the knowledge of who we are. He is our realities. He is our identity revealed. He is the one who enlightens us. So it's all about Christ and never about us. Long time ago, I stopped defining myself based on my mistakes. I used to do that before. I used to define myself based on my mistakes, based on what I can do, based on what I couldn't do, based on where I was coming from. But I've learned, and I'm still learning, that it's not all about me, it's all about Christ who is inside of me. So I focus on growing in the knowledge of Christ. As I grow in the knowledge of Christ, the eyes of my understanding becomes enlightened. When the eyes of my understanding becomes enlightened, I see myself the way Christ sees me. Not the way I appear, not from what people say. In a nutshell, don't define yourself from your outward experiences. Rather, define yourself from who Christ says you are. Define yourself from Christ's realities in you. By growing in the knowledge of Christ, you become enlightened, and you begin to see things the way they truly are, not the way they appear.